dampeners. Cut into feed. Begin transmission.
This program is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised.
And good Sunday afternoon, everyone. I am Bill, and you are watching the Sunday Hangout on Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures. I'm by myself. Jones probably had to work today, so he wasn't going to be able to make it in, and he thought he might, but I haven't heard from him since last night, so I'm by myself. I have sent out a few invites. If a couple of you guys want to come on in, I'll be more than happy to let you on. It is Veterans Day weekend. Any veterans out there, thank you for your service. We appreciate you so much. Let's go through the chat here. Let's see who has joined me today. Adam, I see you down there. Thanos too. You guys let me know if I'm looking and sounding all right, because I know this is me by myself. I really can't tell. So looks like we got Shaitan's Hammer here with us today. Hey Shaitan, good to have you. Susudio came in early. She wasn't first, but she thought she might be. Good to see you. Ozzy from Ostradamus Toys, good to see you. Woohoo. Toy Mama's here. Good to see you. And moving on down, we got Adam from Radical Toys. Glad you could make it, man. And the Thanos Copter is here. All right. Moving on down, Tony's Figs. Good to see you, Mr. Tony. Thank you for coming by. And everybody saying hello to each other. 5x5. Thank you, Radical Toys. Cobweb Collector in the house. Hello, peoples, he says. Good to see you, sir. Looking good, Bill. What's up? I'm doing great, man. Glad you guys could come in. Carol's here. Hey, Carol, how you doing? Glad to see you tonight. All right. So that gets me caught up on the chat. I hope you guys, those of you who were able to make it last night, enjoyed last night's show. It was a hoot. We're going to kind of calm down a little bit today and just enjoy ourselves. I do have the toy cam going. I'm hoping that it's going to cooperate with me today. And just in case, we got some old favorites we might can show. I want to get that Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure telephone booth opened up. Now, one of the things that I started working on this week was I was working on some stickers. As you guys know, I've been using these cases like this right here to put my figures in. And I got a sticker on here. Now, this is not superpowers in here. These are Boss Fight and Long Box Hero. So we got Long Box Hero down here of Rocketeer. And then we've got Boss Fight Power Stars up here. Flash Gordon, Ming, Thorn, and the Phantom. So I decided to put some stickers on here, and it says not quite superpowers. So I was making those stickers today, and of course the regular superpowers collection cases, they got stickers that don't say not quite on them. So that's kind of what I was working on this week as far as that goes. I've got another thing that I've been working on. Let's see if this thing will present a picture instead of just a slide. No. All right. Well, I'll have to do this another way, and I certainly can. Boom, 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 boom. You guys have got to see this. I'm working on these. I don't have them all finished yet, but I've got one done. So let me run over here and Flash Gordon card back. All right. Do this. Browse for it. And I know where I put it. I put it right here. I hope you guys are doing well. I am. This weekend is just about over with, but it's Sunday. We're just kind of hanging out and trying to just relax and stuff. So let's see if I can do. Yeah, I can do this one. And okay, and let me bring that down where you guys can see it on this side. And then I did this one. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Another image. And Flash Gordon card front. Browse for that. Open. Okay. And move him over here. And you guys tell me what y'all think about that. Now, what I'm trying to do here, basically, is I'm trying to get the design to look like the old Superpowers bio cards. That's what I'm looking for. So we got Flash Gordon. We got the front card with the picture of Flash done by Al Williamson here with the Superpowers looking back. And we got the card back, Flash Gordon, Savior of the Universe, and a little bit of the information from the back of the Power Stars pack on it so that it kind of matches up. And I'm going to do cards like that for Rocketeer, Ming, Thun, and the Phantom as well. Tony's Fig likes them. Cool. And what I'm going to try to do is once I get them finished, I'm going to put them into a PDF file so that they're set up properly for printing. And you get you some cardstock paper, put it in your printer, and you can print it out. And I'm going to put the PDFs over on the blog, Weird Fantastic Toys at blogspot.com, .blogspot.com. Yeah. And that way you guys can download them and you can print your own out, put them cardstock. It's like a playing card. You print it out, it prints out both sides on this, and you kind of score it, fold it over, and glue it together, and it makes a nice sturdy card back. Is it Carol's birthday? If it's Carol's birthday, happy birthday, Carol. Happy birthday. And moving on up, what have I missed? Let me hide the current comment. Let's see. Yes. And that's what I'm trying to do there, Shaitan. Make some Superpowers looking card backs for the Superpowers, not quite Superpowers figures that I have. You're more than welcome. And Thanos says it's cool. I was wondering the other day if there was a resource for old toy bios like that. Yeah. Well, sometimes there's not a resource for it. You have to make them yourself, and that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to offer them to everybody here. Might offer them for early download on the Patreon page before I actually put them on the blog, and then later on I'll put them up on the blog and have them available for everybody. And I did get a package ready to be sent off to Pop Actor Rick. If you're hanging out, Pop Actor, I'm not saying anything. I got your package ready, brother, but I couldn't mail it out. Veterans Day, the post office was closed, so I wasn't able to do that yesterday, but it is coming. And somebody else, Briscoe, good to see you. Glad you showed up, Briscoe. 1234. Good to see you. And I know her birthday was last week. I think we've all missed it. You know, at least I did. I think I wished her a happy birthday over somewhere else late. But once again, happy birthday. And yeah, damn it. All right. Okay. But anyway, the other thing that I did recently was I got a couple of new figureheads from Barbarossa, and those came in. And that was one of the things. No, it's today the 12th. Yeah, but the post office was closed yesterday, so I wasn't able to get into the post office. They didn't even open up. I have a bookmark full of Motu bios. Someone made file cards for each character, somewhat sure based on classics. That's pretty cool, Shaitan. I'd love to have that, man. It'd be cool. Anyway, let's go ahead and get over to the toy cam here, and I want to see how these Barbarossa heads look on these figures. Now, of course, what we have here is we have Savage He-Man. I don't call him Ular. He's just He-Man, okay? But anyway, this is the Savage Jungle Man He-Man from the very first mini comic. And yes, he does have some little feet there that I got from a customizer on Instagram. The pretty much what I've done here. Right now, he's got a head made by Lee Customs that was molded from the original He-Man figure. The recipe here is pretty simple. We got John Cena's shins. We got some custom bare feet here, and I've got some wrestlers' waist here on him with black trunks. Someday I may paint them a flesh tone so they kind of match his body, but I'm not finished with him. Obviously, his spear's not painted yet. The spear came from Boyer, and of course I made his loincloth here. But we got a brand new head here from Barbarossa. Barbarossa is back in action, guys. His webpage is back up and everything. If you guys want to check out Barbarossa, there is the link. If one of you guys that's got a wrench there in the chat, you might can put Barbarossa's link up. It's once again it's www.barbarossacustoms.com. But what we have here is we have a mold. It looks like it was made from the classics Ular head, and I wanted to see how that would look on this this custom figure that I've been working on. Thank you, Shaitan. I appreciate that. I still need to order the Grayskull sword, says Shaitan. That'd be pretty cool. All right, so we're going to check out this new head. So we got to take oops, drop the spear. We got to take Lee's head off. So there we go. Pop Lee's head off. Reach down here on the floor and pick up this spear. I'll just put it back here to the side. Anyway, back to this new head here. We'll take a look. The hair is sculpted separately from the head itself. So Barbarossa is doing a little bit different work there than what Lee was doing. Lee's head is all solid, and of course I had to put something in there to keep it from just wobbling around. And let's see how well it fits here on this ball joint. Oh, it's pretty tight. There we go. All right. I think that's going to be my Savage He-Man's head, guys. It just fits. Now, of course, you know, it's not exactly the old head, but as far as the Jungle Man, He-Man, I think he's got the look. He looks kind of savage there. So this head may replace that head. We shall see. It is pretty tight. So you guys tell me what y'all think about that. Thank you, Mike Fee. I appreciate you putting that up there for me. And let's go over here, and we're going to work on Skeletor now. This, of course, is the Lee Custom head for Skeletor that's made from the original vintage figure head. But Barbarossa makes an Alcala head. And I got that here recently, along with the Ular head. Now, of course, it's got this really light yellow on it. See if you guys can see that. But what I really need to do is I need to put a wash across that so you can bring out the teeth. As you can see his eyes in there. And those teeth are all nasty looking and all uneven and all kind of like the original Alcala drawings that were in those storybooks. But I want to see how the colors match up here and see if it's going to look pretty cool on him. So once again, we got to take Lee's head off here and put the Havoc staff back here. Take Lee's head off and put this head on, and it's going to be kind of tight, just like the Ular head, obviously. There we go. It's on there. And let's see how that works. I think that works pretty cool. So, if I were going to do some pictures based upon the original story, I might want to put this Skeletor's head on. Let's see if we can make him stand up here without falling over next to old Ular there. And bring the camera down a little bit, and you can see those heads at their feet, the original heads I had on there. All right, guys, y'all leave me some comments. Let me know what you got going on. Nice shade of green. Savage He-Man looks savage. Looks like Rolando Flores is in the house. Hey, Rolando, what's going on, man? Good to see you. George Valentine's here. Good afternoon, good sir. In chat, sorry I can't stay running errands, but just want to say hello. That's fine. Enjoy your errands. I'm glad you stopped by to say hello. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. And yeah, he does look very savage there in the face. He looks like a jungle man who just came out of the jungle to me. Bjorn Jorgensen putting up some links there to Lee Customs. Thank you. Everybody saying hey to Rolando. Oh no, not the evil figures. Quick, throw money at the Grifters book. Exactly. That's from last night. If you guys haven't seen last night's show, we had the everything is Satan, including He-Man, Rainbow Bright, Strawberry Shortcake, Care Bears. Everything has got Satan in it, according to the money hogging grifter fake preacher. And moving on down, let's see, Mike Fee, I'm glad you showed up today. So everybody's kind of hanging out today with me. I'm doing an old school freestyle. I throwed out some links out there to a couple of you guys if y'all want to show up and kind of just freestyle with me and talk about what we're doing today. The link is out there to a couple of guys. I don't think Jones going to be able to make it today. Axel06, hello all. Good to see you, sir. Who bought an entire Snake Mountain? Who bought an entire Snake Mountain? I bought an entire Origin Snake Mountain. But anyway, I'm going to put my Barbarossa card up and keep that around for safekeeping. I love his logo there. Pretty cool. www.barbarossacustoms.com. So he is also on eBay, and he's got his new Streamline online store. So you guys can check him out. Gilster37, good to see you, man. Hello, Bill and Toy Friends. Yes, sir. Glad to see you. The guys from last night. Yeah, they bought an entire Snake Mountain and they sat there and played with it on the show and then talked about how evil it was. All right. What else do I have back here? So we've done the heads. I'm going to put these to the side and put these figures back here with our girls who were playing shipping up to Boston for us earlier today before the show started. My daughter recently went to Florida, and they visited a Ripley's, believe it or not, museum up down there. And she knows that I collect these things, so she got me the world's smallest Monopoly set. I don't know if I want to open that just yet or not, but inside, as you can see, there's dice, money, the cards, everything, even the houses and hotels. So this is a completely playable, tiny version of Monopoly. So it's absolutely playable. So we may look at that after a while. But one of the things that I've been wanting to do for a while is open that Bill and Ted's phone booth. I just haven't done it yet, but I wanted to see how it scales with different figures. So let's take a look at it first. It's based upon the cartoon version of the Ted. 9.5 inches tall, folding front door, glow in the dark phone signs. And up here at the top, it says Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Fig Biz, kind of reminiscent of Marvel. Here we have the logo here on the side with the heads of all the different characters. On the side, we have a little diorama here of the figures meeting each other. And of course, the logo here on the side. On the back, we have a picture of the phone booth. It says, in 1989, a most excellent dude named Rufus used a phone book to traverse the circuits of time and help San Dimas high schoolers Bill and Ted pass their exams by assembling an incredible cast of historical figures, from Genghis Khan to Abraham Lincoln, visiting the prehistoric era, medieval England, and the Wild West. Along the way, thanks to Rufus, the triumphant duo would avoid military school, keep the band together, and ultimately save the future with their music as wild stallions. Party on with your 5-inch Fig Biz dudes, sold separately, and be excellent to each other. So these figures are 5 inches tall. Okay, that's a little bit taller than 4.5 inches, which is superpower size. I don't have the figures. I probably won't buy those. Here on the top, we have a picture of the phone booth. And let's go ahead and get this package open and pull it out and check out the size and how well it scales with everything else. I have been meaning to get this out for you guys for a while, and it always slips my mind. And it comes with these two little pieces of foam in here to hold it inside of the plastic. All right, so let me get this out of the way and put away. I'm going to keep this box for storage later. I don't know if you guys do that or not, but I love to store stuff like this in the boxes that they came in. If it's feasible, sometimes it's not feasible. All right, so I already know this, but this the way this phone booth opens, it's not really on a track. So you kind of have to reach in here with your finger and get it to open up. So it's like this, but it does fold in like that. It doesn't fold the other way. It folds like that. So, but inside you can see that there is a telephone. It's molded together. That receiver won't come up off that hook there. There's no ledge or anything in here to hold a phone booth. It's just that. This piece here is not removable. And it's not on a screw or anything like that. It's kind of molded in there, but it's a separate piece, but It doesn't look like it would be very easy to get that out. I think it's glued in. But let's see what that scales like. McFarlane Superman. Oh, we got Oz here with us. Bring him up here on the screen. Oh, come on. Add him to the stage. There we go. Did I get him? It won't.
Yep. I'm here.
Now.
I'm here.
There we go, Ozzy. Good to see you, man.
Good to be here, brother. Thank you for the invite.
No problem, man. I was glad to bring you in. I knew I wasn't going to have somebody with me, and I was just going to be talking basically to the chats. It's kind of nice to have somebody to answer me back with an actual voice. As you can see, I got my Bill and Ted phone booth out here. I wanted to see how it scaled up with the Superman figure.
Oh, okay. I see what we're doing here. Yeah.
So earlier we put some Barbarossa heads on the figures back there to see how that looked. And I don't think that this phone booth is going to scale very well. It kind of does. What do you think? It's a little tall. I think it's more scaled with. Yeah, well, see, now I'm going to tell you what it will work with, and I absolutely know it will. It will work with Doctor Who.
Yes. Yeah, makeshift TARDIS for sure. Well, I mean, it should be bigger on the inside with Doctor Who anyway, right?
Well, an actual police telephone box is kind of bigger than a U.S. telephone booth. I can tell you that now.
That is true. Yeah.
Doctor Who is about the same size as that phone booth. He kind of works with that phone booth. He's a 5.5-inch figure, so he's just a little bit taller than the Bill and Ted figures, which are 5-inch figures. So,
right,
the Bill and Ted figures are somewhere halfway between Doctor Who here and the McFarlane Superman. So that's kind of how that kind of works out there. But I bought the phone booth basically because I wanted to see how well it scaled up with the superpowers, and it looks pretty cool. Not that I want to buy Bill and Ted figures with it, but I might, but I don't think I will. Hey, I like Saul. Good to see you, sir.
You know, I will say,
them in the phone booth.
Okay. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm gonna do what I like Saul asked me to do. I'm gonna put them in the phone booth. Each one.
Right. Yeah. Definitely put him in the phone booth and see how he looks.
All right.
I mean, he's really not too far off from the ideal height. He's just a little shorter. But he's changing outfits in there, so he's gonna need a little bit more room overhead anyway. So
Well, look, as you can see him in there.
Hey,
he is.
Now.
I mean, he's right there. He's right there on that telephone and everything.
Yeah, that's actually like dead on. I mean, it's been years since I've seen a proper telephone booth in the wild. Still see some payphones here and there, but not a proper telephone booth at all anymore. And I gotta say, I actually think that's right because it's got that little bit of an elevated lift, part on the inside that you don't get when he's standing outside. So that works. That's perfect, really.
Hang on there, Ozzy. I think I've got something else in here. I don't know what she did with it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, folks. I'm a little dark today with the sun behind me here.
Here it is. Yes. Now, I did a papercraft telephone booth a long time ago. And I thought that it was a superpower size phone booth. But Possibly not. It looks looks more like a 3 3 3/4 inch scale phone booth here.
Yeah,
But
that's a
I
little
made this
tiny.
myself. Yeah,
I mean, it
it's
looks good though.
Yeah, it doesn't have a receiver on the phone. I thought about buying maybe one of those figures from The Walking Dead that came with a little telephone and stealing the receiver off of that and putting it in there, but I never did. It does have a phone book in there on the ledge there. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Yeah.
And,
That's another lost artifact of time, the phone book.
Yeah. Well, it used to, if you didn't have a phone book, there wasn't any way to contact anybody. And I think they still make Yellow Pages, but I haven't seen it.
They do.
I knew Yellow Pages in ages.
Yeah.
But yeah, this
Last one I saw was like
Superman looks pretty
2020.
cool enough.
So thin. He looks great in there, really. Now that you got him standing in the booth and you could see that it's sitting up slightly higher. Yeah, see, there's no way that Tom Baker is taller than Christopher Reeves. Just gonna put it out there.
Actually, Tom Baker is probably 6'3".
Was he really? Was
tall.
he that tall? I didn't realize.
Yeah. So was John Pertwee. John Pertwee was a pretty tall fella too. But
Yeah,
he's a little. He's a little bit too tall there for that phone booth. I would have to say. I'm gonna put him back over here in the set that I had him in. But actually, I think this phone booth here works better than this phone booth here for the McFarlane size Superpower Revival Superman. Now he is actually a little tad taller, to be honest with you, than the original Superpower. It's just a hair. It ain't much. If you guys have seen some of the videos that are out there from other creators, I think Michael French was the one that he ranted on it and talked about it that they were too tall. Now we do know that McFarlane heard all of that. I don't know if he heard me or whether he heard Michael French or whether he was just listening to the chatter in general. But when they came
I heard
out
McFarlane listens to Weird Fantastic Toys, but he's not a fan of retro blasting. I'm just throwing it out there. Superstar Bill.
Right. And if you believe that, folks, we got some land in Florida for sale cheap too. But anyway, as you can see here now, the new Batman figure that came out in the recent days. As you can see, that figure there is almost an exact size of the Superpowers, and he is a little tad shorter than the Superman, and it could be simply because of the leg stance, but I don't think it is. Now the cape that Superman has on, of course, is a Cape Master cape, folks. The actual figure from McFarlane does not come with this nice cape like this right here. So
nah, McFarlane is seriously lacking on those soft goods, but
well, he listened on that one as well. As you can see, Batman has got a more Superpowers-esque cape. The only gripe I have right now with the capes are that the collars are a little sloppy. I think they could do a better job throwing those collars up. I don't know how you feel about that, but that is certainly how I feel. What do you guys in the chat think?
I haven't had any of these in hand myself because I'm trying not to spread myself too much thinner than I already am. But I gotta say, like I remember the ones as a kid, and those capes were like pinnacle to me, Before that, the only real figures I had seen with like any kind of soft goods was the occasional like ponchoed Endor gear like Luke or Leia from Return of the Jedi. And it was only occasionally because I never got to see those really in store. I saw them at like yard sales and stuff. But superpowers were still plenty available. And my cousin had a bunch of them that I used to play with at my grandmother's house. And I always thought those capes were the best. And yeah, Tony, definitely dead on. Cape Masters, especially when you're talking about like that vintage aesthetic, it doesn't get better than what he's putting out.
Well, the other thing that kind of irked me, I started to use a wordy dirt. I try not to do those on Sundays, but I leave that for last night. If you watched last night's show, it wasn't nothing but wordy dirts. Anyway, yeah, one of the gripes I've got with Cape Master are the two Robin figures that he put out, which the capes were either solid yellow or solid black, and we know that it's a two-sided cape. And is it possible to make a two-sided cape? Well, hell yeah, Kenner did it twice.
Yep. And you know they weren't like putting a whole lot of money involved into their soft goods either, but it was just that quality that they had on it was better, you know.
Bowie Hicks, he's hollering there. McFarlane, give us soft goods, you cowards.
Hey, you know what? I'll call Todd up on the phone right after this live stream and let him know. Look, guys.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Oz has got the Todd McFarlane bat phone over there, the hotline straight to the Todd father's office. So he's gonna take care of that for us. We appreciate you, man.
Met the guy on
Honor You
occasions. He's great.
Honor You says that he's out running errands, but he's listening. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And all music fan 88 last night subscribed to the show, giving me 849 subscribers. So my goal for this weekend was to get 850. So I'm one shy. Check your subscription buttons, folks. If they're not active and you're not subscribed, please hit it. And I appreciate that if you do. It really helps the channel. Well, I'm on my way to 1,000. So 850 is not that far away. So once I get to 850, what is it? Another 150, and I've got my 1,000.
Got it.
So yeah, one of these days I'm going to have
eligible for that ad revenue.
Right, which doesn't really amount to much, but it's better than nothing. Which is what I'm getting off of ad revenue now. Thank you, Tony's Figs. He says I subscribe. Thank you, my friend.
Excellent.
And Thanos Copter says, I wish I could subscribe again if I could. Well, here's the thing. Now, I'm not saying do this. Not saying do this. Susan or whoever it is that's in charge over there at YouTube or AI bot or whatever it is. I'm not saying do this, but I'm saying that if you have more than one YouTube channel account, which, like I do, you can subscribe with more than one account. As a matter of fact, I don't know if Ozzy knows this, but, I subscribe to him with Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures, which is this channel, my main account, which is just Bill, and a couple other brand accounts. If you got brand accounts on YouTube or Google, each one of those brand accounts is eligible to have its own YouTube channel.
Yeah, I'm actually double checking mine now. I was pretty sure a while ago I may or may not have had some other accounts subscribe, but I'm double checking all of them as we speak because I may have more than one. I'm not saying for sure, but
absolutely, and I appreciate that. Thanos wants to know how I'm doing on watch hours. I am.
That's a tough one.
Well, for some people it is. I've got 4,500 watch hours and have had over 4,000 watch hours for over 6 months now. I had the 4,000 watch hours way before I got 500 subscribers.
Right.
Now, how did I do that? How did I do that, folks? All right. It's because I have a loyal core of watchers who actually bring my watch hours way the hell up. Okay. Most
That's
YouTube channels, they get the subscribers right off the bat, but they don't have the catalog of videos or the core watchers who actually come and watch them time after time. So,
Yep.
I started out with a pretty good amount of watch hours, and I keep those watch hours going because that it only goes back 1 year.
12 month. Right. 12-month rolling cycle to the day. So as
Absolutely.
tomorrow hits, if you had a spike tomorrow, after tomorrow, those watch hours fall off.
Yeah.
So it's and you said exactly it, Bill, too. It's developing the right kind of community to follow you is what gets you those watch hours. I'm only a little over, I'm like a year and a month on being an actual channel myself. And in that amount of year, I've just hit over 340 subscribers, still on my way to the 500 that the guidelines have changed to. But I've had over 3,000 watch hours, which is the new guideline for the 500 subscriber tier for monetization. I've had that for several months now. But again, just like you said, Bill, we've got that core class of that key factor of a strong, tight-knit community that's always here to support us, always watching our content. And I got to tell you, like, everybody champions those long streams that I do. Man, I'm nothing compared to the people who, like, I'm sitting here hanging out with several people talking about what we all love and what we're passionate about makes it easy. For those people in the chat who are actually watching for all of those hours, you guys are the real champions because when's the last time anybody people were complaining about 3 hours for Avengers? I consider that way more entertaining than me.
Well, let me inject in there, Oz. Now, I will admit, when it comes to marathon streams like that, and I'm sure you've looked at your analytics, your viewership does this number right here during the whole entirety of that. Yeah, there are a few hardcore efforts that'll sit there and stay the whole time, but then you've got people like me who can only come in for a few minutes at the beginning before something else is going to take me away from you. But you get those watch hours from them. You get the people who come in the middle, and then you get the people who are the insomniacs and Walmart people who come in late towards the end of the stream. So, you have that. Mike V says his watch hours is at 6.7. And, well, the thing is, you got to have a catalog behind you. And Shaitan's Hammer brings up another point. I've got rewatchable videos. I've got a few that are evergreen. And that means that even though they have big, huge watch hours that go back for a couple of years, they're constantly gaining to make up for the ones that they've lost. Hang on just a second. I have a phone call coming in.
Coming in on the phone booth.
That. So when I'm going to
it's all good, Bill. Got me here, so I'll just interact with the chat.
Ready? 2, 3. What do we do with a drunken sailor? What do we do with a drunken sailor? What do we do with a drunken sailor? Early in the morning, way hey, up she rises. Way hey, up she rises. Way hey, up she rises. Early in the morning, way hey, up she rises. Way hey.
You're still on mute, Bill.
Yeah, I went ahead and stopped that because I'm off the phone now. If you guys want to see that in its entirety, you know how to do it. It's called a super chat. I'll be more than happy to do it for a super chat. But that is an example of an evergreen video, folks. I've got a version of that's available to watch on my channel, and people are constantly watching that over and over. And like Shaitan says, he'll rewatch it. Okay, sometimes he gets in the mood to rewatch some of my videos. He'll rewatch them, and that's how you keep your watch hours up. You've got to have those kinds of content.
You do.
Let's go ahead.
I was going to say that's one of the harder things about my channel, because all I do is these types of long marathon live streams. And it's pretty much whatever views I get that week, those are the views that I'm getting. There's not a whole lot of people going back after that first initial week that enjoy rewatching one of those live streams, with the exception of my Legions class videos, because I do that show with Jesse from Shooting the Shelf and Curtis Ackerman, Sean Scavarna, our very own Eldor, Masterversal Toy Hunter, and Brick, where we talk about the history, the lore, and what's going on with Mythic Legions. So there's stuff to go back to and watch and learn if you haven't yet, without us having to bring it back up each new class that we do. We've gone over factions and different characters. So those are the evergreens that you can do with a channel like mine, but I don't have the replayability of something like that, video right there with the sea shanty, which I gotta say, hands down, Bill, is fantastic work. One of my favorite videos to watch on your channel.
Thank you. Well, let me tell you how I'm not the big boys, but I've watched what they do. Okay, once you reach monetization, your watch hours and your subscriber count are what they call vanity numbers, which means it doesn't affect your ability to monetize afterwards. The only thing that it does have an effect on is possibly how much ad revenue that you're getting. But once you reach that, you don't need to keep getting those watch hours anymore. So when you do a live stream, you can go ahead and you can private that afterwards, and then you take the best parts of it and you release that as those as videos. So, for instance, if you had a really decent chat with somebody about a subject, you can cut that little bit out, get all the uhs and uhs and pauses out of it, cut it together into a nice package, put a thumbnail with it, and go, Oz and Brick talk about AWOC, or whatever you can come up with a good title, good gripping title for the video, and make a thumbnail out of it. That's what the big guys do. Some of them even have a separate channel for live streams, so that their live stream numbers, they don't care, if their live stream are available on their main channel or not. I don't know what I'm going to do when I actually reach that. I want to continue to do 2 live streams a week. I like that. It's a nice little schedule. We know that Saturday night's going to be adults stuff, funny stuff. I'm going to do a variety show, basically. We know that Sunday's going to be all about toys. It's going to be a freestyle like we're doing right now, and we're going to just do a toy chat. So that's kind of what that was. Black Phoenix is 42 minutes late, but he's here. Hey, I get a lot of rewatches on my streams. Usually during the week afterwards, the people who didn't get a chance to watch will do a rewatch. And so I'll see my numbers jump Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and sometimes even Thursday and Friday on a weekend video.
Yeah, I mean, that I do see. It's always within that week I'll see it. Like, I'll average about 180 to 200 on the live stream itself between any given week. And then I normally get about another 30 or 40 throughout the rest of the week, just kind of like people trickling in it. Because I've had people admit that they'll come in, and because they're long marathon streams, they'll put it on while they're at work and just listen to the conversation and not watch what we're actually doing. And I appreciate those.
At that point, well, Well, your show's more like a podcast anyway. I mean, occasionally there's something to watch on there when somebody opens a figure or shows off a haul or something like that. But when you
Right.
got just two heads talking, sometimes all you need to do is listen to that because, I mean, how entertaining is it for two bearded guys to sit there and just talk blah 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 blah? You know, you know.
Well, clearly all these beautiful people in the chat here love hearing these two bearded men talk.
Hey, yeah. Thanos says all his vids are super short, like 18 minutes, and there's nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact,
Not at
the
all.
shorter vids like that get more interaction time. In other words, the viewer comes in and he's not gone in 30 seconds. He's not gone
right.
in 10 minutes because he's watching the whole video. You got
Yep.
30 minutes to an hour video. If it's not compelling, if it's not cut properly, some people can't watch that. They'll just click away. Now, one of the things that YouTube has done that pisses me off is they've started cutting these mid-roll ads in so that mid-sentence while you're talking, a damn ad will roll.
Blip.
And sometimes there's 2 or 3 mid-roll ads. Go ahead, Oz.
No, I was agreeing with you on it. That is exactly what they've been doing lately.
Well, they're not making any money, so they figure if the more ads they roll in on us, the more money that they'll collect, and they're doing it to even those of us who are unmonetized. So, if you're watching an Ozzy video, or you're watching a Bill video, or you're watching a Thanos copter video, and you get a freaking ad in the middle of it, hey, they ain't monetized. I ain't monetized. I'm not making a dime off that. YouTube's making all my money. So once again, if you're not subscribed to me, please do subscribe so that I can collect the money that's owed to me for all the ads that they're playing anyway on my show.
It's true. It's very, very true.
The Majestic One says he has a lot of time on his hands sometimes. Consider yourself lucky, especially at your age, my friend. I was looking at Instagram recently, and it was one of those baby Yoda memes, and at the top of the meme it said me when I was a teenager. I can't wait to be a grown-up so I can do whatever I want. And then at the bottom it said me today. I don't want to be a big people anymore.
Right. Let me go back. Is probably the biggest fallacy of all. When you're an adult, you can do whatever you want. But the reality of it is, nah, you really can't, because now you got all of these adulting responsibilities. It's one of the reasons why I say on the live streams on Saturdays, I don't mind using that term kidult, because that's kidult time. We're adults talking about doing kid things, opening toys and having fun, and that is where we like to be.
Yeah, and Thanos bringing up a point that I made earlier. You know, you get a lot of people coming in and then come back later. Like for me, for instance, my show is right in the middle of your marathon streams. A lot of times, I'll come in and watch the beginning. I may even if you can even invite, you know, I may even come in and hang out with everybody in the panel for a little bit. Then I got to come do my show. And then sometimes if I'm feeling froggy or I've drank too much coffee, I may come back in for a little while at the end part of the show and hang out for a little bit before I hit the sack.
And what I like about it too is
the booth.
Oh no, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, I was going to say what I notice is too around the I think we got a bit of a delay hitting us here.
There is a latency issue. It's a StreamYard issue, and I'm sure you've dealt with it before. Usually, what happens is you'll see a long pause on my part. That's your cue to talk.
Right. So real quick, I'll just say that I like when I do see around the time you go live, I'll watch my numbers drop a little bit, and that never bothers me, because you know what we end up seeing afterwards is once you guys are done, the numbers spike back up. And that's like when my stream will end up getting that second wind that pushes us for those even more extended hours going later into the night. And I appreciate that because it helps. It's kind of like our shows kind of help feed one another.
Of course. And the other thing is there are a few of them, and I know them, like Radical Toys might do this. I think he does it. I know that Master Versal Toy Hunter Eldor does this. They'll have both streams going at the same time in two different browser windows. And
I don't know how they can keep up.
Well, I think they mute one and bring the audio up on the other one, hang out in the chat, then move back over, mute it, come back over here, bring the audio back up. I've done that before. You can go crazy doing it though, and I'm too old for that shit. I don't multitask very well at all. Going to Thanos, he says, does that booth works? Go a little further with that. Take that a little further. Can I make telephone calls off of it? No. Does the phone receiver come up off the receiver in the Bill and Ted booth? No. Is the Papercraft booth got a phone in it? Yes. Does it have a receiver on it? No. Does the doors open on both of them? Yes. Can a figure fit inside of them? Yes. The TARDIS. Let's look at the TARDIS for a minute. The TARDIS, now this is a Tom Baker version of the TARDIS. Now, I don't think I have any batteries in it. I don't. And it may just have an on-off button on the bottom and no batteries, because one of these didn't come with the guts in it like the others do. The door opens. There is no insert inside like it is in the others. There's a little button there to press to make it close, and you have a telephone door here that does not open on this one. It's a Tom Baker booth. Now, what I have over here, hang on, Oz. Let me put this back over here in the Egyptian mummy set that it came out of, which is above me. Sorry about that, folks. Got crotch shot probably.
Hey, that's what all the ladies are here for, right? The moneymaker shots.
No batteries in this bad boy right here. Turn it on, no batteries. I keep the batteries out of here because you know what batteries do? They corrode.
Yeah, they do.
Open the door up. There's nothing on the inside. But the other door has got the little telephone thingy will open, and inside is the telephone.
Oh, nice. I like that. Now, does that one also say pull to open on the sign as opposed to push? Because I know that was a joke in the show.
Well, here's the thing. The pull to open means you pull this to open the door. Pull to open so you can open this and get to the phone. Because that's where the phone is. The phone is in this. Now, let's talk about a real police box. These police boxes that were used on the show were made of wood. A real police box is made out of concrete. The only wood piece is the actual one door that does open. This door is stationary. Door the phone in stationary.
Yep.
So this door here will open. And
well, I don't know how many people may be familiar in the chat with the purpose of the police box phone. And
okay, go ahead. If you know it, you can answer.
Right, because that's something that they have over in the UK that didn't ever really translate it over here so much. The idea of this box is that if you are in distress, you need help, you could call an emergency line. And then, like, if you really needed some, like, you could lock yourself inside the box until help arrived.
All right, here we go. Here's another one.
Oh, you got quite a few. I like it. Oh.
That's a landing. Here's a takeoff.
One of the most iconic sounds.
What happens when it's going through the vortex?
Look at how freely that spins. Nice.
It's a whole place at the bottom to put your finger.
Oh, that's wonderful. That is amazing, Bill.
There's another sound that it'll make. It's a broke down sound. I can't remember how to make it do that. But once again, on the stationary door, this should open. Let's see if it does. No, it doesn't. But when you open the door, you can hear the sounds of the inside of the TARDIS.
And I like that they got the
and once again, there's a little button that you press to make the door shut. But yeah,
that's good.
Electronic TARDIS. I've got another one over here that's a Hartnell TARDIS. So yeah, I've got several TARDISes.
I had a thermal activated mug. You know, one of the ones you pour the hot liquid in, and you know, like it'll do a color change. I had one for the TARDIS. Unfortunately, it got put in a dishwasher, and it was not dishwasher safe because you know that label they put on there on the outside that has the print will peel.
Okay. Well, now back to the phone box. The Metropolitan Police phone box was introduced. Probably the first one was probably back in the early 20s when telephones first became a thing. There was no such thing as a transistor radio or a walkie-talkie back then. So the only way the constable could contact the station or the station could contact the constable was through a phone box. The light on top would flash to let the constable know that the station was wanting him to call them in and contact them. And so he would come and contact them. The interior of the box had a stool and a little desk inside of it so that he could do his paperwork at the end of the day, and had a light in there. It was painted white on the inside. The phone was accessible through the outside door so the public could use it in case of an emergency to get help. There was also a first aid kit in one of the panels inside of the door. That's where the St. John ambulance badge comes from that you see on the TARDIS occasionally. The things were bigger than the prop that they used on the show. They were quite tall, and they were made of concrete and stationary. They didn't move. Now, the one door that did open, and it opened outwards, not inwards, okay, was made of wood, and a nice sturdy wood too, because the constable could also, if he arrested someone, he could lock them in there for safekeeping until the paddy wagon could come and cart them off to jail. So now, equivalent in the United States, policemen before there were walkie-talkies or the ability to do that, they had a version of the phone box over here, but it was just a small box with a lock and key on it that you could open up, and there'd be a receiver in there you could pick up and talk to the station with. And some of those they would sit on a post, a little box sitting on a post, and occasionally you see those, but I think they're all gone now.
Yeah, most places you don't even see the posts they were on anymore. But yeah, you know, they did have stuff like that around because, like you said, there were no walkie-talkies or anything. How do you communicate?
And the only Metropolitan Police telephone box that's still in operation today is actually a new piece that was built, and it's in Earl's Court. And the only Metropolitan Police telephone box that's still in operation today is actually a new piece that was built, and it's in Earl's Court. And the only Metropolitan Police telephone box that's still in operation today is actually a new piece that was built, and it's in Earl's Court.
Ooh.
And now I don't know if it still does this or not, but used to you could go to Google Maps, and if you zoomed in on Earl's Court and you zoomed in on the street level view, and you went over and you clicked on the doors of the TARDIS in Earl's Court, they would open up and you could go inside, and you were inside the TARDIS.
Oh, neat. That's great. That's fantastic. I love that.
I like Salt says, actually, all you really need is a good show like yours. I'm assuming that he must be talking about either me or you, Oz, and we appreciate that. I like Salt. Actually, I like Salt is probably one of my bigger supporters. He's also a member of the channel. And now I'm not fully monetized because I can't get ad revenue, but I can get money. Super chats and memberships are available.
Yeah, and that was something they recently changed this year, and I gotta say, as one of the coolest things ever. Because again, for channels like ours that have this core, subscriber base that is always watching our content and want to help support the channel more, they didn't always have that way to do it unless we went to an outside source like Patreon or something like that. And it's great now that we have an opportunity. Like, you still got to work for it, you still got to earn it, but they gave us that ability to set something up for channel memberships and super chats. And I appreciate that. I think that was a really nice thing for them to reconsider, because there are a lot of channels that may not hit that 1,000, but they got a really good core base.
And I occasionally get a super chat every now and then, and I appreciate every dime of money I get. And the only problem with YouTube is in order to cash out, you have to have at least $100 worth of super chats, super thankses, and what have yous to get your money. So it took me probably several months after I got monetized before I got my first check from YouTube. And now I haven't gotten my second because I'm sitting at like $40. So I need a few more dollars to get some more money. What does the money do? The money helps. The money buys equipment. The money pays for services that we use. Things like, of course, you have to use services, and they don't cost. They're not free. The music I use is from a place called Toontank, and I have a yearly subscription to Toontank. It takes money out of my pocket to run the channel. And I'm sure Oz pays money out of his own pocket to keep his channel running. And it sure would be nice if we didn't have to, right?
That's the idea. That was one of the reasons, like, early on when I started doing this, it was Skelly and me joining up doing Toy Frenzy, and then me going off on my own and doing a separate solo show. And it costs money. You can get free StreamYard, but it's a little lacking. Like the big streams that I do on the weekends, you can't do with free StreamYard. You can't have that many people on at once. And stuff that I use for the thumbnails, like Canva, all that stuff costs. That comes out of the pocket of the content creator. So in order to do these, like, you've either got to have a real passion for it, or you got to wait a while to build up and have people help. But fortunately, there's a lot of amazing people out there that do help support the channels. And that was the whole reason I started with a Patreon. And the funny part is, too, once I got it to the point where the channel cost is basically covered with that, I actually stopped pushing. I was like, okay, I don't need to advertise anymore. I got enough support that it covers my channel cost, and I'm good with that. Now it's like, get up to the point where I do like some channel memberships and super chats, and then it's like, okay, maybe I'll push again a little bit, and because I do want to start upgrading equipment, and that costs.
Yeah, I need to do that really bad. I need to change out this gaming laptop that I'm using to a real gaming computer. No, I don't game. I need the power. Power is necessary to do the video editing and the streaming and all that. And I Like Salt gave me a $5 super chat. Thank you, I Like Salt. What did he say? He says, it's a start, Bill. Thank you so much, I Like Salt, for that super chat. Roman the dog is here. I'm going to try to catch up with the chat real quick, Oz, if you don't mind. Roman the dog is here. Shaitan's Hammer says also add editorial effects. I tend to do that on occasion. If you watch last night's show, I had several bits that I knew were going to copyright ID me if I ran them without doing something to them. I did something to them. If you haven't seen some of that, I thought it was funny. I don't know if the chat thought it was funny or not, but I thought I did get a few giggles out of it. Jamie Sanders is here. Hey, good to see you. Moving on down, everybody talking to each other. And Jacob Cobweb Collector here with me. Good to see you, sir. I like Salt says, kind of like now, blah, blah, blah can be fun. Yeah, if we're talking about something interesting, which I hope we are. A lot of this, I think, is just things that a lot of channel creators who may be in the chat right now would appreciate hearing. Is there a channel called The Bearded Collector? There is the I Like Salt super chat that just dinged up here for me. Did you see that? Is there a channel called The Bearded Collector? I don't know.
Did.
Could be. Rhea Black is here. Good to see you.
There's at least one called like Bearded Toy Guy.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what Thanos says here. I have a really good idea for shorts, but I'm still working on a setup for it. See, I started doing shorts back when YouTube was pushing them really, really hard. They help you if that's what you do. Okay. If it's not what you do, if what you do is more long-term, long-form content, which is what I do, they don't help you. What happens is you get a glut of subscribers off of your shorts, and they tend to leave you, and they don't give you any watch hours. So, and mid-roll ads suck ass. Mid-roll ads suck buttholes. And here's the thing. They just changed it. So keep this in mind, those of you who have channels and you too, Oz. When you monetize, they will retroactively go back to all of your content that's monetizable. And they will put the maximum number of ads on there by default, which means that you'll have mid-roll ads, pre-roll ads, and post-roll ads on all of your videos. And your ability to change it is more limited now than it ever has been. And Roman the Dog says he just pawed that sub button. Thank you, Roman the Dog. I appreciate that very much. And Rhea says that she just realized that that's you over there, Ozzy.
It's a little hard to see in the daylight because I got the sun beaming in from back behind me, putting the light here on the camera, and I kind of silhouette out.
Right. That's you need a shade back there, and you need a nice ring light shining down at you here, and maybe something coming in on the side to get that shadow off.
Yeah, I got the ring light here.
And Roman the Dog is a good boy. Absolutely, you're a good boy, Roman. Appreciate that. You get getting sick, Thanos, or dying from something else. That must be something that they inside joke there. Bill's at 551. Thank you. Well, I got my goal for this week. I got my 2 subscribers to get me above 850. Thank you. All of you out there, thank you so much.
Love seeing that.
Thanos says, I've been sick trying to get through OT. Okay. Moving on down. Rhea says that speedy recovery to you, Thanos. Payne's Toy Samples is here with us. Hey, Payne, good to see you. And everybody saying hello. And I Like Salt says, Thanos Copter, we're on the same boat. It isn't sinking. It's just listing a little bit. Mike Fee says, I might jump in live next weekend with you guys. Well, you're more than happy to come on either one of our shows, I'm sure. And I'm not speaking for you, Oz, but I know that you and Mike Fee have been have had him on before.
Yep. Absolutely true. You know, that's always an open invite to Mike.
Oh, When my phone rang, he thought it was the phone booth's phone. Okay, got you, Thanos. Been crazy all of this time. Yeah, I've been crazy for many number of years. I don't know if I ever had all my marbles. Boyle dying today. His hands look like some murder scene. So using red dye. Oh man, that stuff doesn't come out for ages. A TARDIS cookie jar that lights up and makes sounds. Alex has. I've seen those, and I'm not one to go out and buy something like that for myself. But if someone were to give me something like that for a gift, I would be mucho grateful. See, that's the kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff that I won't buy for myself to allow my friends who know nothing about toys to buy something like that for me. You know, he likes Doctor Who. I'll buy this for him. Don't leave the batteries in the toys. No, that will be bad. And it's even worse if you've got toys like Tarzan over here who has button cell batteries in him. You forget all about them, and then you come back 2 years later, and now he doesn't go anymore.
Yeah, it's and that's the risk you run too.
Your sister says that she's just here for the nerds. There are more than 13 of us out here, people. Possibly thinking of like buttons that need to be hit. Thank you. I'm moving on along. Alex says he wishes the BBC would team up with Hasbro and make a TARDIS Transformer. I'm surprised that hasn't been done in some form or fashion. I know that Underground Toys has had the license from the BBC to produce Doctor Who action figures and accessories for years now, and I don't know how that transfers. You know, that's legal stuff that goes beyond Mississippi, man. I see the neatest toys here. Absolutely. You keep watching, you never know what I might come up with. And he's talking about your dishwasher death on that poor cup.
Oh man, yeah. The easiest way to kill a nice printed cup, put it in a dishwasher.
There's that $5 super chat I got a minute ago. That shows you how far behind in the chat that I am right now. Cobweb collector talking about a bearded toy guy. That could be anyone. Yeah, that we all have beards. Hello, everyone, says the attorney in Ellipse. That would be Sir Clifton over there, who has a show coming on tonight at 6 p.m. Central, if I'm not mistaken. And I plan on being there for that. He's going to show a Transformer called Wheeljack tonight. Now, I'm not a Transformer collector, but I liked the Transformers, and I watched the cartoon and read the comics when I was a kid and had a couple of them. They were a little expensive, and I was over 12 years old when they came out. So the ones that I had to buy with my own money. So I had
a couple. I had a couple of Beast Wars. My cousin had a lot of the G1 Transformers and stuff. I always like coming over and playing with them, but I didn't have many because Transformers always they've been a bit on the pricier side always.
Yeah, Transformers were expensive, especially for a kid whose only form of income was lawn-mowing money and odd jobs that dad or mom might pay you a little extra. When I was growing up, now this is Gen Xer here, guys. When I was growing up, there wasn't any such thing as a weekly allowance. Your weekly allowance was the fact that they allowed you to live in that house and eat. Okay. So, you know, mowing your lawn, that didn't pay any money. Cleaning out your gutters, that didn't pay any money. Raking your leaves, that didn't pay any money. You had to go rake somebody else's leaves, go clean somebody else's gutter, and rake and mow somebody else's lawn and make some money. Daddy allowed you to live in his house rent free and eat food and everything, and then that was your weekly allowance. I don't know how things are going for kids these days. That's how it was back in the 70s and 80s. What about you, Oz?
Oh, for me, if I took out the trash, washed dishes, I get a quarter a week. So by the end of the month, I had enough to go get my new issue of the comic book from ABC Comics that was up the street from me. And that was that. But even if I missed 1 week, there was no allowance.
Right. Well, like I said, I got nothing from mom and dad as far as money went. But an enterprising young man went down to the downtown furniture store that was owned by a fellow that his family knew and that he knew, and got a job sweeping the store out and helping deliver furniture in the afternoons after school, and making enough money to afford to buy a figure or two and maybe a comic or two a week. So
it's always good. You got to find the ways to earn.
Hustle, man. We had to hustle to make our money. Mike V says Hebro supports his channel and buys toys with money he makes off 3D prints. Yeah, his 3D prints are expensive. I understand why, but his 3D prints are very expensive. As a matter of fact, he brought the price down on that lava flow to the point where I almost bought it, but I've already got one. His is nice. It works with the new Origins Snake Mountain, and it glows in the dark, and it's cool. But I know that I would have to sit there and go and explain to my dear better half why I've got 2 lava flows, and there's no need to having more than one, blah, blah, blah. You know the deal. And I wish that I could make enough money off of what I'm doing now to support buying toys with this money, but I do not buy toys with the money made off the channel. I buy better for the channel to make the channel better with the money.
Yep.
Thanos Copter says, I have an idea for shorts that could be fun. Wait a minute now. You back me up on this, Oz. You be careful now, because YouTube's got what they call terms of service. And that crap that you're doing over there on Instagram ain't going to fly. Susan's going to get your ass. So be real careful.
No, I don't think he would go in that direction. He knows we even keep it real tame on the Saturday night clubhouse. Like the conversation may get a little extreme, but as far as what visually gets shown from Thanos's fun pictures on his IG, we limit, but so far we've been pretty good.
Yeah, and he knows that I'm just kind of messing with him a little bit there.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to look up an image here for us if I start to go out, you know why. But here's one on Amazon. Let me go to Amazon.com and share the screen and show him a TARDIS cookie jar.
There we go.
Oh, not settings.
It's always tough trying to navigate, and especially
got a little
Bill,
latency because I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing.
I was just saying, I know you and I have similar troubles on that share screen sometimes. You know, like we said, you need a lot of power in whatever your computer using to do this stuff. The stream takes a lot of bandwidth, a lot of CPU power, and you know, it can get a little laggy if you try to do too much.
Yeah. But here you have it. That is the here we go. Let me view this tab instead. There we go. Now that should show it. There we go. We have the TARDIS cookie jar with light up sound and effects activated by pushing the lamp or closing the lid. Now let's see if they show a picture of it in operation here. Here we go. That picture will come up there. All right. That's about how big it is. As you can see, the top opens up and you can put the cookies inside of it. So there you go. That is the TARDIS cookie jar. So there you go. Stop sharing.
I will say this too about a TARDIS cookie jar. Again, as we stated earlier, they're bigger on the inside. Just imagine how much you could fill that up with cookies. I mean, whew.
Absolutely. I'll be dropping some news, but we'll go a little bit more in depth on it this evening. All right, well, cool, Sir Clifton. We can't wait, man. I kind of think I know what he's going for there. And if you're a member of his Patreon, you already know. I have a number of Transformers, although Hasbro annoyed me by changing the scale and upping the prices, so I haven't bought any in a while. Well, okay. Ozzy, I don't know if you're a Transformer guy or not. Are you?
I admire from afar. I don't own any.
Well, when you don't own any and you admire from afar, you may suffer from the same problem I have. Okay, when you go in the store and you look at the Transformers, which ones go with what? Because there's several different lines that have nothing to do with each other. I mean, the same figures may be in each line, but they're of different scales and heights, and some of them transform and some of them don't, and you get confused. And I don't even know if there's a line that matches exactly or is a kind of a repop of the vintage line or not.
So I do know this from hanging around with certain Transformer circles. As a matter of fact, my old trainer from my current job, he is a big Transformers collector. You got different scales that they do label on the box. Like you've got your core class, right? That's like your kind of like smaller ones. Then you have your leadership class, which is your slightly bigger ones. Then they have your Voyager class, which is your larger scale. And then there is the Titan class, which is where you see things like the Ark, the Nemesis, Omega Supreme, like all those, or Fortress Maximus, like those really ginormous ones that were basically play sets that were Transformers. But and then I believe there's also like that's kind of like their scaling. But they got a lot of different lines. They have like a legacy line that like gears more towards that G1 and retro style. Then they've been doing this shattered glass one, which I find really, really cool. That's where, like, you know, Decepticons are now Autobots and Autobots are now Decepticons and stuff. So they're pretty cool. But like I say, I just get to admire from afar. I don't dabble because, well, first off, I just know how I am. But the engineering that goes into Transformers alone is just so impressive. And I understand why they're a little bit more expensive than most toys, because that type of engineering, when you look at a He-Man figure, there's some engineering that goes along with it, especially with their pop and swap modularity of origins and all. But it's something you could easily discern just by looking at it. With a Transformer, and especially depending on that scale, there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of contortion, a lot of folding this way, flipping it that way, turning it around this way, making sure there's space enough to hide like a hidden compartment. There's a lot of engineering that goes into those toys, and that's what really impresses me with what the Transformers have to offer.
And not only that, but if I'm not mistaken, I don't know how the new figures are, but I remember distinctly the old figures did not come with instructions to tell you how they transformed. That was part of the play, was you figuring out how they transformed.
I'm not gonna lie, I broke a few because of that too.
And they were a little delicate. They were a little delicate. Like I said, if you want a Transformer guy that knows, he's the Transformer expert, that would be Ken Poe. Go and check him out and watch his channel, and he goes into Transformers quite deeply. And honoring Toy Connection. Thank you. And if one of you guys will put the link up for that, I appreciate that. If you got the power to do so in my chat. Honor You 83 says Ollie's has quite a few. I don't have an Ollie's here, but from what my understanding is, Ollie's is a dumping ground for all the toys that either never made it to the retail store in the first place because of the distribution issues, or all that crap that sat on the shelf. I'm surprised that Ollie's isn't full of naked Stratoses for $1 a piece.
You know what the worst part about that is, too, right? So, like, back when we just had He-Man and Skeletor sitting on the shelves at Walmart and stuff, right? Because when they first came out, He-Man and Skeletor were separate SKUs, and then you had the assorted figure. And, you know, one of those big things, like, we saw those eventually go to clearance.
Mm-hmm.
Why have we yet to see Jitsu, Sorceress, Buzz Off, and Naked Stratos go to clearance? What is up with that?
I have no idea. Last night I touched on this. I yesterday at Walmart. Excuse me. I almost did a toy hunt yesterday at Walmart, but I did not. Simply because it wasn't worth it to me to take the time to edit together a film of what I saw there. What was there? There was invisible jets, but you had to move all the bat wings out of the way to see them. The new Batmobiles were put on the shelf, but you had to move all the Supermobiles out of the way to see them. Look, folks, I got a bad feeling about this McFarlane line as a result of seeing that stuff sit on the shelf and collect dust. Then I went down to the 2 pegs in this one Walmart within a 100-mile radius, and there's several Walmarts. The one Walmart that actually still carries Origins, the 2 pegs that they had for them had on the front, I gasped, there was the Snake Armor Man at Arms, and there was a Spy Corps. And I'm like, oh, wow, the new wave is out. And I pulled them 2 off the shelf, and you know what was looking at me behind them?
What did you have,
Naked Stratos back there. Naked Stratos sitting back there, chilling out. There was only 2 brand new figures on the shelf, and behind it was just line after line of Naked Stratos. And there was a Sorceress hanging out behind them. And on the other shelf, there was a Jitsu and a Buzz Off behind a bunch of Naked Stratos. So that kind of crap there is why my toy hunts don't happen anymore much, because if it ain't nothing to show, I'm not going to take the time to do it.
Right? Why am I going to show you basically a repeat of what you saw last week when I did it? Because ain't nothing changed.
Right. Daniel
I said
Carhoon
early on my channel.
Yeah.
Good to
I
see
do toy
them.
hunts, but it's got to be worthwhile. It's got to be a worthwhile toy hunt for me to do it anymore. Daniel Carhoonen's here. Thank you for showing up. I like Salt said, we learned we had to make money our own way, work and earn it. We did not care what you spend it on. Yeah, that helps you learn how to budget money as well. Shorts will be safe for work, says Thanos. Thank you, sir. And he also says here, when I hit the not safe for work content on the retrospective, I think I'm going to have to add a blur or black strips. Well, that could help, but I know another channel that got demonetized, and they put the blurs and the black strips on their clickbaity thumbnails. So they always had a chick on the thumbnail, and they got demonetized.
Yeah, it might be depending upon how it's looked. Like if you can still clearly see kind of what the idea is, even if it's blurred out, they may still be like, sorry, this is not safe for work. Bill, I'm not gonna leave, but as we all know, normally when I do these streams, I'm in another section of my living space. I'm going to go hit that section up because I keep seeing you hit that puff. And I'm like, I want to go get one. So I'll be back in a moment, folks.
Go for it, man. Sure thing, man. You go take care of what you got to do. All right. So back to chat here, for instance, while he goes and takes a puff on that cigarette. Although my Fisto Roboto mashup hasn't been flagged or censored. Yeah, okay. Shaitan's Hammer. Hasbro runs a number of different lines at the same time, movies and generations, which is somewhat retro but updated. G1s, I think what those are called. If I were to collect, I'd probably be collecting G1s, but I can't collect everything. I used to be big into Transformers, had a bunch as a kid, loved comics too, but these days I have very few Transformer toys. And I like Salt says the Transformers really worked, which was fun, whichever the scale. Absolutely. Sir Clifton says Studio Series Transformers doing a re-release G1 looks just, they have plenty more points of articulation than did. Yeah, I saw those on your show last week. One of them was the Sound Blaster, right? You can get the Netflix series, Earthrise, and Kingdom series that has a G1 look as well. Thank you, Sir Clifton. The only thing I might buy is a new Galvatron because he has an alt mode that can fit besides Motu. Okay, that's neat. And there we go. And moving on down. I like Salt says, I always walk to the toy section within the department store. Yeah, I do too. Everywhere I go. If there's a toy section, I hit it up. A lot of times I'll even go back there to the electronic section and look at the Funko Pops and think, why? Naked Stratos Way will never die. Never die. I'm so mad at McFarlane for doing us dirty with the Superpowers Black Mana. I still have yet to find one, and I mean one that is affordable. I lucked out. I got mine on the Evil Babe for a nominal upcharge. It wasn't too bad. I'm on the lookout for Reverse Flash right now. Haven't seen hide nor hair of one. I have seen some people posting that they found them in the wild. I have the Majestic one is my toy bounty hunter. He's on the lookout for one for me. If anybody here in the chat sees one, think about old Bill. If you're buying one for yourself, grab that extra one, send it my way. I'll make it worth your while. I'll pay for the shipping and cost. So it won't cost you anything to get me one. Radical Mom. Hey, I'm sorry. I had an eye operation on Friday. Just in recovery. Hello to all. Well, I hope that eye operation worked out well for you. You be careful. Don't strain those pretty little peepers of yours. And I hope you get better quickly. Nightbot. Be sure to like and subscribe. I wish I didn't have to see him in my chat here on the StreamYard. I don't see him in my other chat thingies that work for me. Because I had the ability to unbot things. I used to work at Walmart. The same Motu figures when I left a year ago are still there. Wow. Yeah, I know. Puff Puff, I have the same addiction. It's killing us, you know. Absolutely. We know this. We know this. And Funko Pops are the most useless thing ever. I never got into the appeal. I don't get it. Some folks, you know, they like their Funko Pops. Most of the people that I know that do collect them are not toy collectors, but they are pop culture, you know, aficionados. And the little Funko Pops, I guess, are reminders of those things. Ozzy is back. And I have him over here with me so that we can talk a little bit more. He's outside now. And he's got his jacket on because it'd be cold up there. Oh, look here. Radical Mom has sent me a Canadian $5 super sticker. Thank you, Miss Mary, for that. I appreciate that, Radical Mom. All the little monies that I get here. Oz's connection said, "Come on back, Oz. If you can get back, I'll put you right back on." And closing down some open windows here, and I want to see what that super sticker actually looks like. So I am going to open a new window, which may make me freeze just a little bit. Bear with me, folks. And I'm going to go over here and open up the YouTube studio so that I can look at the chat and see what that super sticker is. There he is back.
Sorry about that. I'm using a different browser. We found out last night, apparently Google Chrome browsers using StreamYard on mobile devices is creating an echo with StreamYard.
Uh-oh.
It's a known issue. Because I got a warning last night when John, figuratively speaking, joined that there would be an echo because of him. He graciously stuck with us throughout the night showing stuff. He muted his mic unless he had something to say, and then he would unmute. But I remembered that, so I didn't want to use my usual Chrome browser that I use to do StreamYard on here. I went with a different browser. So I backed out by accident.
Okay, let me ask you this, Oz. Is that on your phone?
On my phone, yes. On the computer, it's fine because I use Chrome on the computer. But on the phone or a mobile device, love that ching classic cash register sound. Beautiful. But yeah, on a
Yeah,
mobile device.
that's a. Okay, here's the thing. I have found that if you're using an iPhone, a lot of people use Androids, and that's probably what you got. I don't know. But if you're using an iPhone, use Safari. Do not use Firefox or the Chrome browser on that one.
Right.
I've shied away from going directly on phone for a couple of years now. I think I might have started out directly on phone when I first started live streaming. But it's all through the Chrome browser because you can do things with Chrome that you can't do with the other browsers in StreamYard. Pick StreamYard so that it works with all browsers, please. Thank you. And I also have OBS over here doing all kinds of little stuff like overlays, and the stuff from Streamlabs will pop up over here when that happens. And I was going to go over here and I was going to look at my dashboard so that I could see what the super sticker was, because StreamYard doesn't show me the super sticker.
Nope.
Shame on you, StreamYard. Fix StreamYard, please. Thank you.
I agree. Yeah, they don't show
And
super
let's
stickers.
look at that in the control. Oh, it's a little kitty cat going, ha, ha, ha. Okay, thank you.
Very nice.
Yeah, I froze there, didn't I? Probably opening up that extra window.
Yeah, a little bit. Like we say, man, it uses a lot of power.
A little kitty cat. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And StreamYard has some lag issues as well, because we're streaming to StreamYard, and then StreamYard is streaming it back out. So we got this middleman in there.
Right.
If you have OBS on your computer, you can stream directly from OBS, but then you have to go through some sort of gymnastic jiggery pokery to have a guest on.
Yep. Yeah, to make sure everything's set up. StreamYard's more user friendly, but it lacks in certain areas. OBS is a lot better for a lot of other stuff, but it's a little less user friendly unless you really play around with it and know what you're doing. But you know, you gotta set and save individual settings from your guests and stuff. It's difficult to navigate all these different softwares that a lot of people who watch the content really don't, because they're not trying to do it, understand a lot of what you can go through to do these. But Bill, you do a wonderful job using OBS and doing all these different ones. I personally just use StreamYard because although I used to work in the tech industry with video games have been very easy plug and play. There's not a lot of that you got to figure out. And I'm not as tech savvy as some people would believe.
Oh, imagine that. Well, here's the thing. I've always been tech savvy, but I'm not nearly as tech savvy now as I used to be at one time because things change. And
Changed
it
a
changes
lot.
at a rapid pace. But I have to use StreamYard because what I would have to do to go to do the things in OBS is just too much. And if you watch a beginning of my show, that's like juggling. All right. So here I am. I start out, I have an overlay over a static or moving background screen and play some music. That gives me a chance to get things set up so that as soon as that music begins to fade out and stop playing, bam, I hit the intro. As soon as I hit the intro, I add myself into the stream. Then I turn the overlay off. And then I come over here to OBS and I get my what screen I want to show going on OBS. And then about the time I get that done, the intro's over and suddenly, boom, I'm live.
There
And
you
if I
go.
screw up any moment during all that, something funny happens. Like the other day when I played somebody else's intro instead of mine after while my intro was playing, and of course that being the blooper show, it was a blooper on the blooper show, so that was funny. So, but it wasn't intentional by any means. And Weirdos Skeletor there, Susudio is showing some of her ability to have special icons because she is a channel member. Now memberships are open. There are 3 levels to go, and the lowest level is Weirdo. And at the Weirdo level, you pretty much get everything there just to get anyway. If you want to go higher than that, it's because you want to help the channel.
Mm-hmm.
And Sir Clifton says, I hope Bill doesn't mind being a tutor, giving OBS tutor lessons. I don't mind at all. I learned from Grindhead Jim, and I don't know, but he's probably forgot more about OBS than I'll ever know. But I'll do the best I can. It is a steep learning curve. I do basic stuff with it. I have scenes and sources. And if you have sources that are videos, you have to learn how to use your audio mixer to turn the sound on so that people can actually hear it when you play it. And that's about as far as I go with it. But what you can do with it is you can go into record mode and you can record yourself directly off your camera with OBS. And what you can do is you can do things like if I was recording this, I could make the teddy bear hover around me like this right here. So if you're trying to do some stop motion where you need, let's say, a spaceship to fly by Castle Grayskull, you could do it with OBS by recording yourself flying the spaceship by the castle like that. By the way, that's a teddy bear that you can buy at my merch store if you want to buy some merch from me. That was a pretty good segue there, was it not?
I loved it, Bill. As a matter of fact, with the holidays coming up, if you want a great gift that can help support Bill's channel, a weird, fantastic teddy bear is available in his merch store, folks.
Absolutely. And there is the link. Buy some merch. There's the link. Weird dash, fantastic dash, toy dash, adventure .myspreadshop.com. And why is my URL so funky? Well, it's because you pretty much don't have very much of a choice of what you're going to get at Spread Shop. So you get what you can as close as you can get it to what you need it to be. And so that's what they give me. So I took it and ran with it. But yes, we got teddy bears. We got hoodies. Wintertime's coming up. You need something warm to wear if you work in a cold place. Excuse me. We got the hoodies. We got zip up hoodies, and we also have the pullover hoodies there. We have t-shirts, stickers, mugs, coffee mugs. I've been drinking out of my weird, fantastic Toy Adventures coffee mug here. This is not the only design. If you want a design with X-Ray Boy on it, we've got that as well. So, and do I buy my own merch? Of course I do, because it's quality merchandise.
There you go, folks. That's what it's about.
And so the commercial's over for those of you who've been tuning out because you didn't want to hear me make a commercial. But I don't mind. I don't mind helping. I try to help as many of the people in the community that need help as possible. I do that in various ways by patroning them or being a channel member of theirs. I'm a channel member over at Mr. Home Arcade, and he's been notoriously absent here lately. I think he's been very, very busy here in the holiday season. So, go over there and just rewatch all of his content because it's funny as hell anyway, and it's rewatchable. And I plug people. I let them come on the show and plug their stuff. I do everything I can for the community. If you need help with technology, if I have the ability to help you, I'll be more than happy to help you. That's what I do here. And Susudio says, I'm special. You are. Everybody who helps out, Weirdo Superman, Weirdo's Digger, she's showing off all of those special emoticons that she can use because she is a channel member. How long does it take to get merchandise on the channel? You can get merchandise on the channel with the what is it, 500 subscriber and 3,000 watch hour level.
Yeah,
you can make your merch store long before that. Okay,
that's
my merch store. Yeah, my merch store was up and running long before that, and I was touting the merchandise, putting the links up here during my live streams and stuff to tell people I had that. But to incorporate it into your channel, you have to reach that first goal, which is monetization.
Yeah, because YouTube has like their own partners that they deal with that you can go through to set up a merch store. But you can set up a merch store long before you're established. It's just not partnered through YouTube, but you can post the links to it yourself and do that. I know.
The Spread Shop store, the Spread Shop, Teespring, Redbubble, I think YouTube will work with all of those.
Yep.
So, I could have more than one merch store if I want to. Why would I do that? Because I can't even keep up with the one I have, blah. But, you could have several merch stores partnering it through your YouTube. You just add them in YouTube Studio over there under the $ tab, the monetization tab. And now, if you don't see any of that, go ahead.
I was going to say, one thing I will say that I have noticed about merch stores that are set up, they are pretty basic. Like, these companies are just looking to mass produce a lot of what you got. One thing that they do not do well is ratioing a logo or a print to scale with the size of your clothes. So if you're a bigger person like myself, I wear like a 4 or 5X. That print comes out pretty small looking comparatively to the size of the shirt. On the smaller sizes, it scales well. That's not any fault of the person whose merch it is. That's strictly the print companies. So keep that in mind, folks. I'm not saying don't buy merch from them, because you want to support the channels you want to support and you want to help them in any way you can. Buy a shirt, buy a mug and stuff like that, because it really helps. And there's a lot of us, especially like Bill and myself, that promote drinking plenty of coffee to do what we do with these streams. And a coffee mug is a beautiful way to go.
Absolutely. And this is not the only design. The bear's got the same design on him. These are not the only designs. I have a design with, like I said, X-Ray Boy on it. I also have a brand new design. I finally got that approved. It's got a big picture of X-Ray Boy, and it's got the stacked logo right underneath him, kind of superimposed over his lower body.
And that would look
great, of course,
on a hoodie.
Yeah. And like I said, of course, you can make all kinds of different designs. You can have as many designs as you can put on there, and that's what some people do. I know one person who does that, and what he'll do is he I don't suggest this, and I'm certainly not going to do it. He puts up stuff that he don't have any business putting up on the shirts until they grab him and take them off. But and he does that so that he can make as much money as he can on these limited shirts. You know, you got to get there and buy it before he gets copyright struck and has to take it down. But if you're a graphic designer, which I am not, you can have as many number of different designs as you want. I've been thinking about putting a support design up on there. I support Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures. Keep calm and keep collecting. Stuff like that. I mean, you can put all kinds of things on the shirt as long as it's not copyrighted or it's your own personal design that nobody else has. Which, like X-Ray Boy there, yes, he's based upon an image from an old photograph that I think Remco did of a little boy playing with a robot. But it ain't that picture or this picture. It ain't this picture. This picture is made by me with my own software, and nobody else in the internet has this exact picture. So that's mine. Right. It's not copyrighted. It's going to be trademarked as soon as I can get up to $100. It's going to take me to trademark that. But yeah.
Agreed. Yep. That's what I'm working towards here, is getting a plethora of designs for merch. And I will make sure that I get it scaled.
And that's how you actually sell merch. Yeah, and that's the other thing. That's how you sell a lot of merch. Like, for instance, you know, people will buy one teddy bear from me, but they probably won't buy a different teddy bear. They'll buy a shirt from me, but they won't buy another shirt unless I have a different design. So the more designs you have, the more you're going to sell to people, because you'll get the repeat buyers coming in and buying. My merch store is basically for support. If you want to show your support by wearing a T-shirt or drinking out of a mug or a teddy bear or something like that, then I have this stuff available. I also have the ability to send gifts. So if I want to gift somebody something, I'll buy from my own merch store, which I can get a discount, big discount on the merch doing that, and I can send you a gift. If you've done me a favor, you might get a gift straight from the merch store, drop ship straight from merch store from me.
Yep.
And I like Salt says, I have X-Ray Boy, not Radar Boy, but X-Ray Boy on mine. Real happy with it. It's just next to Trump's mugshot mug. Hey, thank you, sir. I appreciate you buying from me. So see, people do buy my stuff. And I have gotten a little bit of money from off of my merch store, and I appreciate every bit of support that I can get. And I'm sure that you do as well, Oz, over there on yours.
Yes.
And so, how do you get to our merch stores? Well, the way they set it up now, pretty much, if you go to our about page or our description page, there's links there. I usually try to put links in my descriptions, so clickable links in the descriptions. One of these days, we're not going to be able to do that either, but do it as long as you can. But yeah.
Yeah, I know.
What you got going on? Because it's getting about duck feeding time, bro.
That's true, man. Well, later today, I will be hanging out with Brick and Thanos, and we will be talking about some needless firma we saw, which is Brick's BS News, which is BS as in Brick something news, where we're going to be talking about all the cool stuff we've seen this week, especially through this weekend with Legion's Con going on. Then later this week on Thursday, you can catch me and the boys over at Toy Frenzy Thursday nights on Skelevator's channel, which, speaking of merch, Skelly, since he's gotten monetized, set up the Skelevator merch store, which has all of the awesome Toy Frenzy stuff with a design I personally made myself and highly approve of. And then, of course, there will always be the Clubhouse Hangout Saturday nights, where if you want to get a little pre-show in, come check me out. Then when Bill goes live, again, you can switch over to Bill's channel. And more likely than not, we will still be streaming after Bill's show. So come back on over and finish out watching and support. And you may see Bill there as well. You never know who's going to be on.
Absolutely. And, of course, I've got my link down there to my Instagram. That is where I'm most active on social media. I do have a Facebook that I ignore. I have an X, formerly known as Twitter, that I don't use at all. And those are my social medias. I do this show on the weekend. I do a late night show on Saturday, which is more of a variety show. I do this show, which is all toys and Hangout on Sunday. And you never know, there may be something that drops during the week special. But it takes a while to get those worked up. So you have to make do with what you got. Always go back and look at some of my content. You'll see what I actually do, and some of it is worth watching again and again because it's entertaining. And thank you, Oz, for being here with me and taking Joneser's place for today. Hope you have a good one. Hope every one of you guys have a good rest of your day. I'm going to go over to the church for the harvest supper tonight. That's going to be Thanksgiving kind of food to eat. Yum, yum. I love it. Turkey and dressing and sweet taters and all that kind of good stuff. Yeah, I only get it at Christmas and Thanksgiving. So you got to make do with what you get and enjoy it. In the meantime, everyone, have a good journey, and we will see you next time right here on Weird, Fantastic Toy Adventures.
Special thanks to the channel supporters. Without your help, these adventures would not be possible. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed today's adventure, please hit like, subscribe, and share the video.